Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to speak about something truly remarkable, the strength of a woman who has been shaped, not by comfort or privilege, but by pain, rejection, and failure. A great woman is not born from easy days and smooth paths. She is forged in the fire of adversity, her soul tempered by hardship, her heart strengthened by battles no one sees. She has fallen, she has been rejected, and she has been told no more times than she can count. But each time she rises stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. Pain did not break her, it built her. Rejection did not silence her, it made her voice louder. Failure did not define her, it refined her. History is filled with women who have turned their struggles into strength, women like Oprah Winfrey, who faced abuse and rejection but built an empire, J.K. Rowling, who was turned down by multiple publishers before creating one of the most beloved book series of all time, and Malala Yousafzai, who was shot for seeking education but became a global symbol of resilience. To every woman listening today, I say this: your struggles are not your end, they are your beginning. Your pain is not a curse, it is your power. Every rejection you have faced is redirection towards something greater. And every failure is simply a lesson in disguise. Pain is an inevitable part of life. And for a woman striving to become great, it often becomes the foundation of her strength. Pain comes in many forms: heartbreak, loss, betrayal, struggles, and disappointments. It does not discriminate, nor does it show mercy. It arrives uninvited, lingers longer than expected, and leaves scars that may never fully fade. But within pain lies a hidden power, a force that transforms the weak into the strong, the fearful into the fearless, and the uncertain into the unshakable. A great woman understands that pain is not her enemy, it is her teacher. It teaches her resilience when she feels like giving up. It teaches her patience when things do not go as planned. It teaches her self-worth when the world tries to convince her she is not enough. Pain forces her to dig deep within herself and discover an inner strength she never knew existed. It pushes her beyond her comfort zone, beyond her limits, beyond what she ever imagined she could endure. Pain is not just an experience, it is a transformation. The woman who emerges from pain is not the same as the one who first encountered it. She becomes wiser, stronger, and more determined. She learns to stand up after every fall, to wipe her own tears, and to walk forward even when every step feels impossible. She stops seeking validation from others and starts recognizing her own worth. She no longer waits for someone to save her because she has learned to save herself. A great woman does not curse her pain. She embraces it. She does not let it define her. She lets it refine her. She does not see it as a punishment, but as preparation. For every painful experience, she carries a lesson. For every tear she has shed, she gains wisdom. For every hardship she has endured, she becomes more unbreakable. It is through pain that she learns to rise, and it is through rising that she becomes truly great. Rejection is one of the most painful experiences a person can endure, yet it is also one of the most powerful forces of transformation. A woman who faces rejection repeatedly learns that her worth is not determined by the approval of others. She applies for opportunities and is turned away. She offers love and is met with indifference. She gives her best efforts only to be told they are not enough. These moments of rejection sting deeply, leaving behind wounds that take time to heal. But over time, she begins to see rejection not as a dead end, but as a redirection. Each rejection carries a message: this is not your path. Instead of mourning the doors that close, she starts searching for the ones that are meant for her. She no longer begs to be included in spaces that do not recognize her value. She stops trying to fit into places where she does not belong. She learns to walk away with her head held high, knowing that rejection is not a reflection of her abilities, but simply a sign that something better is waiting. Rejection teaches her patience. It forces her to trust the process even when she does not understand it. It makes her work harder, push further, and dream bigger. She realizes that every successful person has faced rejection, that every great woman before her has been told no before she finally heard yes. And so she stops fearing rejection and starts embracing it. She uses it as fuel to sharpen her skills, refine her goals, and prove to herself that she is capable of more than she ever imagined. Eventually, the same woman who once feared rejection becomes the one who thrives because of it. She no longer waits for doors to open, she builds her own. Failure is often seen as something to be ashamed of, something to avoid at all costs. But a great woman knows that failure is not the end of her journey, it is a necessary part of her growth. She has experienced setbacks that made her question her worth. She has poured her heart into projects that collapsed before they could succeed. She has taken risk only to watch them fail. But every time she stumbles, she refuses to stay down. Failure is not a signal to quit. It is a lesson in disguise. It teaches her to reevaluate, to adjust, to come back stronger. Each time she fails, she gains something valuable, a deeper understanding of herself, a clearer vision of her goals, and a renewed sense of determination. She realizes that failure is not about falling short. It is about building resilience. The woman who has failed is the woman who has tried. She has dared to step outside of her comfort zone, to take chances, to pursue dreams that others were too afraid to chase. And because she has failed, she knows what it means to rise again. The pain of failure is temporary, but the lessons it brings are lifelong. She learns that success is not about never failing, but about never giving up. She understands that every failure is simply a stepping stone, pushing her closer to her purpose. The woman who embraces failure as part of her journey is unstoppable, because she knows that no matter how many times she falls, she will always rise again stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. History is a testament to the power of resilience. The greatest women the world has ever known did not have easy lives. They faced unimaginable hardships, rejections, and failures, yet they refused to be defined by them. Their stories inspire generations because they prove that struggle is not a barrier to greatness, it is the foundation of it. Every remarkable woman who has changed the world has had moments where she doubted herself, moments where she was told she was not good enough, moments where she faced opposition that seemed impossible to overcome. But what sets these women apart is their refusal to give up. Take the example of Oprah Winfrey, a woman who endured a painful childhood filled with poverty and abuse. Yet she refused to let her past dictate her future. She was fired from her first television job and told she was unfit for TV. Instead of giving up, she turned her pain into power and built an empire that has inspired millions around the world. Then there's J.K. Rowling, who faced numerous rejections from publishers before one finally took a chance on her Harry Potter series. She was a struggling single mother living in near poverty, yet she did not allow failure to silence her creativity. Malala Yousafzai, shot for daring to pursue an education, turned her suffering into a global movement for women's rights. These women were not handed success on a silver platter. They fought for it, they endured for it, and they earned it. History proves that no great woman has had a smooth path. Their pain did not weaken them, it strengthened them. Their rejection did not silence them, it made them speak louder. Their failures did not end their journeys, they pushed them forward. The common thread among these women is that they refused to let life's hardships define them as victims. Instead, they used every setback as an opportunity to rise higher. They became symbols of perseverance, showing the world that nothing, no amount of pain, rejection, or failure can stop a woman who is determined to succeed. A woman is not built in moments of ease. She is built in the moments where everything seems to be falling apart. Life's challenges shape her, molding her into someone who is stronger, wiser, and more capable than she ever thought possible. The struggles she faces are not signs that she is failing, but signs that she is growing. Every hardship, every disappointment, every obstacle she overcomes adds to her strength, making her unstoppable. The greatest transformations happen in the darkest moments, when a woman is forced to dig deep and find her inner resilience. When life tests her, she learns to endure. When she is told no, she learns to keep knocking until the right door opens. When she falls, she learns to rise with even more determination. She stops questioning why she has to go through so much pain and starts realizing that pain is part of her journey to becoming something greater. The woman who has faced struggles does not fear the storms of life because she has already walked through the fire and survived. She understands that everything she has been through has been preparing her for something greater. She no longer waits for the perfect moment to chase her dreams because she knows that perfection does not exist. She no longer seeks approval from others because she has learned that her worth is not determined by external validation. She no longer allows failure to define her because she knows that failure is simply part of the process of success. Through her struggles, she gains a new perspective, one that allows her to see challenges not as roadblocks but as stepping stones to her destiny. There comes a moment when a woman realizes that everything she has gone through has been building her, not breaking her. She no longer sees pain as a burden but as a teacher. She no longer views rejection as a setback but as a redirection. She no longer fears failure because she knows that failure is not the opposite of success, it is a necessary part of it. The woman who embraces this truth becomes unstoppable because she understands that her journey has never been about avoiding hardship, but about learning how to rise above it, A great woman understands that she is being built, not broken. Every hardship she faces, every tear she sheds, and every challenge she overcomes is shaping her into the person she is meant to be. Life does not give her an easy path because she was never meant to be ordinary, she was meant to be extraordinary. The struggles she faces are not punishments, they are lessons refining her strength, sharpening her wisdom, and preparing her for the greatness that awaits her. She learns to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And starts understanding that everything happening in her life is for her growth. She does not crumble under pressure, she adapts. She does not let pain destroy her, she lets it mold her. Every time she is faced with adversity, she sees it as an opportunity to rise higher. She realizes that the most powerful version of herself is being created through every moment of suffering and perseverance. She stops fearing the unknown because she knows that she has survived worse. The more life throws at her, the stronger she becomes. The woman who has been through hardships does not allow them to make her bitter. Instead, she lets them make her better. She refuses to be a victim of her circumstances. She refuses to let the world break her spirit. Instead, she takes every piece of her brokenness and turns it into something unbreakable. Instead of being ashamed of her struggles, she embraces them. Instead of hiding her scars, she wears them as proof of her survival. She understands that being shaped by difficulty is what makes her unstoppable. She does not waste time dwelling on what went wrong. Instead, she focuses on what she can build from it. She does not seek an easy life, she seeks a meaningful one, knowing that the strongest people are those who have endured the most. She is not afraid of pain, rejection, or failure because she knows that every difficult experience is preparing her for something greater. She embraces the journey, even when it is filled with uncertainty. She understands that growth does not happen in comfort, it happens in struggle. She does not fight against the process, she surrenders to it, knowing that each step, no matter how painful, is leading her to where she is meant to be. She does not compare her journey to others because she understands that her path is unique. What is meant for her will not pass her by. She trusts the timing of her life, knowing that every struggle, every setback, and every delay is happening for a reason. She learns to find beauty in the struggle. She no longer waits for things to be perfect before she moves forward. She understands that life will always be filled with ups and downs, but she refuses to let the downs define her. She refuses to let her past hold her back from the future she deserves. She refuses to let fear control her decisions. Instead, she embraces every challenge as a stepping stone toward her destiny. She knows that nothing worth having comes easily, and she is willing to put in the work, endure the hardships, and face the obstacles head on. She becomes unstoppable. The woman who once doubted herself now believes in her strength. The woman who once let rejection break her now sees it as a blessing in disguise. The woman who once feared failure now welcomes it as part of her growth. She no longer hesitates, no longer second guesses herself, no longer seeks permission to pursue her dreams. She knows that she was not meant to simply survive, she was meant to thrive. She refuses to settle for less than what she deserves, and she refuses to allow life's challenges to break her spirit. She stands tall, moves forward with confidence, and continues to build herself, knowing that she is becoming greater with every step. A woman who has endured pain, rejection, and failure reaches a point where she realizes she is unstoppable. She understands that nothing can break her unless she allows it to. She has walked through fire and emerged stronger. She has been told she was not enough, and yet she kept going. She has faced closed doors, heartbreaks, disappointments, and moments where she felt like giving up, but something deep inside her refused to surrender. She has fought battles that no one knows about, shed tears that no one has seen, and carried burdens that would have crushed a weaker soul. But instead of letting these struggles define her as a victim, she has used them to redefine herself as a warrior. She knows now that her worth is not dependent on what others think of her. She no longer seeks validation from the world because she has learned to validate herself. She no longer asks for permission to exist boldly, to dream big, or to take up space. She has been through too much to live in fear. The moments that once made her feel small have now become the very things that fuel her strength. She no longer plays it safe or waits for the right moment. She understands that the right moment is now, and she is ready to claim everything she deserves. There was a time when she hesitated, when she second-guessed herself, when she wondered if she was truly capable of achieving greatness. But those days are over. She has seen what she is made of. She has survived everything that was meant to break her, and now she realizes that she is more powerful than she ever imagined. The doubts that once plagued her mind no longer have control over her. She does not fear failure because she understands that every failure is a lesson. She does not fear rejection because she knows it is simply redirection. She does not fear pain because she has learned that pain is temporary, but the strength it builds is permanent. She refuses to let circumstances dictate her future. She knows that success is not given, it is earned. And she is willing to work for it, to fight for it, to rise again and again until she reaches the life she has always dreamed of. She has stopped making excuses. She no longer allows her past to hold her hostage. She refuses to let her fears control her destiny. Instead, she moves forward with confidence, with resilience, with a determination so unshakable that nothing can stand in her way. The woman she has become is no longer waiting for opportunities to come to her. She is creating them. She no longer waits for someone to open a door for her. She builds her own. She no longer waits for circumstances to be perfect. She moves forward despite the challenges. She no longer lets the opinions of others dictate her path. She walks boldly in her own truth. She has taken control of her life. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop her now. She has reached a point in her life where she understands that every challenge, every setback, and every painful experience was necessary for her growth. She no longer looks at her past with regret, but with gratitude, for it has shaped her into the woman she is today. She has learned that true strength is not just about enduring hardships, but about finding purpose in them. She embraces every lesson life has taught her and understands that nothing happens by accident. Even the most painful moments have served a purpose, molding her into someone who is wiser, stronger, and more resilient than ever before. She no longer runs from difficulties. She faces them head on. She knows that every obstacle she overcomes adds to her power. She does not complain about the struggle she encounters because she understands that challenges are a part of life. Instead of feeling sorry for herself, she asks, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? She has transformed her mindset from that of a victim to that of a warrior. She understands that no one is coming to save her, and she does not need saving because she is fully capable of saving herself. She has learned that life is not about waiting for things to get easier, but about becoming stronger. She no longer fears adversity because she knows she has everything within her to overcome it. She has stopped doubting herself because she has already proven to herself that she can survive anything. She no longer looks at failure as something to fear, but as a stepping stone toward her next victory. She knows that every time she stumbles, she is given an opportunity to rise again, smarter and more determined than before. She no longer allows fear to control her decisions. There was a time when she hesitated, when she held back, when she questioned whether she was capable. But those days are gone. She now moves forward with confidence, unafraid of the unknown, because she trusts herself. She knows that fear is nothing more than a test, and she refuses to let it hold her back any longer. She understands that growth requires discomfort, and she has made peace with stepping outside of her comfort zone. She is done shrinking herself to make others comfortable. She no longer dims her light for the sake of fitting in. She has worked too hard, endured too much, and sacrificed too greatly to play small. She is ready to take up space, to use her voice to demand what she deserves. She no longer apologizes for her ambition, her strength, or her determination. She understands that she was never meant to blend in, she was meant to stand out. She embraces who she is fully, flaws and all. She no longer seeks perfection because she understands that her power lies in her authenticity. She is no longer afraid of making mistakes because she knows that every mistake is an opportunity to grow. She is done seeking approval from others because she has learned to approve of herself. She walks with her head high, knowing that she is enough exactly as she is. She is a woman who has risen from pain, rejection, and failure, and nothing can stop her now. She has reached a level of understanding where she no longer views life's struggles as punishments, but as preparation. Every hardship she has faced, every tear she has shed, every rejection she has endured has been molding her into the woman she was always meant to become. She no longer questions why she had to go through so much pain. She knows now that it was all necessary for her transformation. Without the struggles, she would not have discovered her strength. Without the failures, she would not have developed resilience. Without the moments of rejection, she would not have learned to build herself up without the approval of others. She has learned that self-love is not just about feeling good about herself. It is about recognizing her worth even when the world does not. There was a time when she looked to others for validation, when she needed reassurance that she was enough. But those days are gone. She has learned to love herself in the moments when no one else did. She has learned to be her own biggest supporter, her own source of strength, and her own reason to keep going. She no longer seeks love from others as a way to feel complete. She is whole on her own. She no longer allows negativity to have power over her. She has learned to protect her energy, to walk away from people and situations that do not serve her growth. She no longer allows the words of others to define her. She has been called names, underestimated, doubted, and criticized, but none of it matters anymore. She knows who she is. She no longer wastes time proving herself to people who do not appreciate her. She is done trying to fit into places where she was never meant to belong. Instead, she focuses on creating the life she deserves. She has also learned the power of perseverance. The road to success is not smooth, and she knows this better than anyone. She has faced failure after failure, but she never allowed them to break her spirit. Instead, she used each failure as a lesson, adjusting her approach, refining her skills, and continuing to push forward. She has reached a point where giving up is no longer an option. She has worked too hard, sacrificed too much, and come too far to turn back now. She understands that success does not come to those who wait, it comes to those who refuse to quit. She is no longer afraid of being alone. There was a time when she feared solitude, mistaking it for loneliness. But now she embraces it. She has discovered that solitude is where she finds herself, where she heals, where she recharges. She no longer surrounds herself with people just to fill the silence. She is content in her own company because she has built a relationship with herself. She no longer lowers her standards just to keep people around. She values quality over quantity. If someone does not respect her, support her, or bring positivity into her life, she has no problem walking away. She has become a woman of action. She no longer just talks about what she wants, she goes after it. She sets goals and does whatever it takes to achieve them. She does not sit around waiting for the perfect opportunity, she creates her own. She no longer lets fear hold her back, no longer lets excuses get in the way, no longer allows doubt to stop her from taking risks. She moves forward boldly, knowing that the only limits in life are the ones she refuses to break. She has become the woman she once prayed to be. The woman who once doubted herself now walks with confidence. The woman who once felt broken now stands tall, knowing that she has rebuilt herself from the ground up. The woman who once feared failure now embraces it as a stepping stone toward her success. She has turned her pain into power, her rejection into redirection, and her failures into lessons. She has fought battles that no one knows about, overcome challenges that once seemed impossible, and transformed into someone who refuses to be anything less than extraordinary. She is not just a survivor, she is a force to be reckoned with. Nothing can stop her now, and so she stands unshaken, unbreakable, and unstoppable. She is no longer defined by the pain she has endured, the rejection she has faced, or the failure she has encountered. Instead, she is defined by the strength she has built, the wisdom she has gained, and the resilience that fuels her every step. She is living proof that no struggle is wasted, that every setback is a setup for a greater comeback, and that the fire meant to destroy her has only forged her into something stronger. She no longer waits for the world to recognize her worth. She knows it herself. She no longer seeks permission to shine. She radiates unapologetically. She no longer fears the obstacles ahead. She faces them with confidence, knowing she has already overcome so much. A great woman is not born from ease, but from endurance. She is built through trials, refined by adversity, and strengthened by every battle she has fought. And now, as she steps into the future, she does so with a heart full of courage, a mind full of wisdom, and a soul that refuses to be anything less than extraordinary. Because she is not just a survivor, she is a force to be reckoned with. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop her now.